go live. There we are. We're live. Right? With a message, you are live. So that's why it's good to map ahead of time, because there's none of that. I'm waiting to see how long it's going to take us. Like, it's instantly live. It's perfect.
Now, Tom,
yeah.
Let's say like you're an author and I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
Is this the interface that we will see?
Yeah, they can only see, as you did before, they can only see comments and private chat. They don't see the live broadcast. They don't see any of those things. So they're only going to be able to see the comments that are coming in, which we'll cover in a minute. And that private chat is like the Zoom chat behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But the one difference, which I don't like, is you cannot pick one person to chat to. Like, I can't chat you only. So who's ever in this studio can see the private chat. So you wouldn't want to say, boy, this guest is boring, man, because everyone can see it.
All right.
So anyway, so let's go back. So beneath our video heads, you'll see those options to view, and below that, you'll see thumbnails, right? With the blue little window. So you can control those. So you can remove me by mousing over my little thumbnail. See how it says remove?
Mm-hmm.
So click it.
Well, can't hear you, Tom. Can't hear you, buddy. I'm not going to let you back in. This is my show. There you go. Wait, now you're on the other side.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Because you were first in, I was second in. That's why. So anyway, so that's your hosting power. So if you want to bring somebody in later, then you would just wait for them when it's time. You can say, now I'm bringing in a new guest, and you click it, and you can bring them in. So you have all that control. And you can also mute people, and you can whatever, and do all that. So so you've got all those controls for the guests and everybody else coming in. And you can see on our live feed, it's 2 minutes in, but the viewer is 0 because no one's watching from my YouTube page. And if you also look up top in that corner by end broadcast, that's how you end the broadcast. You just click that, same thing.
Yeah.
But you see how there's a green check mark next to the T. So this tells you that's where it's being live streamed. The green check means it's actually working there. So if you have 3 channels, like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, it'll have 3 check marks. It means it's all good. All 3 of those are working. And it tells you which channels they are. So that's a YouTube channel. That's my T. It's my channel. If it's a Mighty Blaze, it'll be a Mighty Blaze logo with the YouTube and the Facebook. So you'll see each channel that's up there. It's kind of great.
Okay, a couple questions.
Yep.
I just actually right-clicked on the view on YouTube, and I saw it come up on YouTube. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But in the upper left of the screen, or my upper right, I see the Mighty Blaze logo next to your head.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Why do you have that and then I don't have it?
It's only the whole window. It's only the whole window. It's living on, where is it? It's living on the video frame for the whole thing. If there are 5 people here, it stays right in that same spot.
It just takes that that logo from the YouTube page somehow.
No, we uploaded that. So I'll show you all that stuff. All this stuff now we're going to move over. So now we're going to go to that right-hand panel side, and it's comments, right? So the comments are the first thing we'll do. So if you click it, you'll see that comment from StreamYard that says live viewer comments show up here, So this is the aggregate. This is where all the comments will come in. If we're live streaming on 3 channels, anybody commenting from any of those channels, it all gets aggregated here and they show up here. It tells you who it is. So if I was commenting on Facebook, it'd be Tom Shampoo Facebook. It would show up here in this column with my comment. It'll say Tom Shampoo says, I love this book. It's my favorite book of the year. So the comments land here. If you look down the bottom there, it'll say post a comment on the bottom of that window. You see that little post a comment? So if you post a comment there and say, hey, everybody, here's a link to bookshop.org, it gets sent off to all 3 channels. So it'll all be commenting to all 3 channels at once. So this is where you would comment. There you go. See?
All right, that's me going to YouTube and pressing it. But it should be that if I write something here within StreamYard, it shows up on YouTube as well.
Yes, it goes back out to YouTube. Now, YouTube, I think, has a weird function. Try that and see if it works. So post it from here out to YouTube. There you go. See? So now if you look in the comment field here that we're looking in, see how your headshot shows up? That tells me that Mark Cecil from YouTube sent this comment in. So I know where it's coming from. Now, if you click your comment, or if you mouse over it, you'll see it says show. See how it says show over any of the comments as you mouse over them? If you click that comment, it'll show on screen. So watch, click that comment. There you go. So this is how
this is cooler than Zoom, man.
much cooler. This is broadcast TV and Zoom is meetings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we haven't even started yet. Like, this is great stuff. So this is how you show comments on screen, and just click it again, and it'll go away. It's as easy as that. Click one on, one off. And now this is showing. These are comments going. Now, there are three graphics that we can create, 3 comments that we can create and show on screen. One of them is a comment coming in from people. What we try to do is, if there are questions coming in from comments, hey, I have a question. Did the wife in your life influence you in this female character? You can show that, boom, right here. And then I would suggest the host reads it. Hey, I have a question from TopCat19, and they're asking if your wife influenced your female character, but show it on screen too. That way the guest can see it, and the viewers can see it, and then you can answer it. I would show it for 10 to 15 seconds and then just take it away and then chat. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like the visual of those are ways to engage the audience. I think the questions are great to show. I don't know that we need to show just regular comments. I loved your book. That's kind of nice. But we have to feel our way through what we think is an appropriate comment and an appropriate question to show. That's why it's good to have people helping you behind the scenes a little bit, especially early on. It's hard to host and also do all of this behind the scenes. It's because there's a lot going on. So anyway,
okay. Another just random question for you. Does so Jenna usually fans for me on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Now, but I usually produce. So how would that work?
She would come in as a hosting person, because you can't show comments on screen like this back and forth unless you have host powers like you now have because you're logged in.
Yeah.
So Jenna would log in like us, but she would be off screen like this, right?
Yeah.
So when you look below and those thumbnails, you can see me grayed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jenna would be like that. She'd be out of view, but she'd be behind the scenes. You can see her as a host, and she would be back there showing comments on screen back and forth. So she'd be inside the studio here.
Yeah, she'd be in the studio. She wouldn't be sitting on Facebook.
Right. She's here. And then again, she can comment from right here to all 3 places at once. There's no need to go back and forth. You wouldn't go to Facebook. You'd stay right here. And that's why it's good, because you can do both. You can show comments coming in, and you can post comments to go back out. Things like, here's the link to the bookshop. Here's the Wikipedia page about whatever. A lot of that goes right here, and it still posts all the links and all the comments and all that, and all the thumbnails. It's pretty great.
Now, is it it's just as easy? I mean, she'll just do the complete fanning experience from within StreamYard?
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's no need to be on Facebook. I mean,
have we been StreamYarding a bunch of stuff like Frontliners and stuff?
So we did David Duchovny with StreamYard. I'm doing next week is Zibby Owens. I'm doing her with StreamYard. And we are doing the baking show with StreamYard as well. The baking show lends itself to graphics and fun stuff.
Do you have any idea what % of the audience was YouTube versus Facebook?
I don't. We could look at it, but I'm not sure. I mean, someone has.
But are we getting anybody on YouTube?
Not a lot, a few, but not a ton. I don't think so.
So because I just know that being on YouTube was the initial impetus for this, I think, going back to Tom DeMarchi, but it seems like it's sort of ease of broadcast that is the current reason we're doing it or something.
I think it's all of the above. I think it is the ease of broadcast. It is the graphics and the interface and the ability to look more like a show or more like a broadcast or a presentation than a meeting, which is what Zoom is to me. So let's go through, because there's a bunch of more stuff here.
Okay.
So this, again, all of these are just the comments, and you can switch from comments to banners and back and forth as a host. If you hit next one's banners, and so if you scroll down, you'll see banners. My banners are closed, which means it just has the headers. Example banners, poets, and authors love bookstores. You see those? Or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you see a whole bunch of banners, or there you go. Same thing as as the comments. You click them once, they're on. Click them again, they're off. So banners are going to be two flavors. This flavor, which is a banner, and another flavor called a ticker. So if you look for a ticker and show a ticker, you'll see what happens there.
It just scrolls.
Just scroll down. Yeah, they just scroll across the bottom. And you can actually do a banner and a ticker at the same time and have both. So you have these graphics, which again are a lot of fun. We have time for one more question, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's really nice to have those kinds of things.
This is fun.
Yeah, it's once you're doing, and then at the very bottom of that window, you'll see create a banner, and you can just create your own banner, write your own text, make your own thing, and so that, like, you could come into your interview the day before and make 1 or 2 or 3 banners. So the first banner could be welcome, Tom Shampoo, author of the book X. There you go. Welcome to Thoughtful Pro. And then people tuning in would see these little banners that show up, and you show it for 30 seconds, whatever, take it away. And again, it just adds a graphic that helps round out this experience, I think. Right? I mean, how much fun is that? It's so much fun to think about this. And again, you can enter your studio whenever you want, as often as you want. Just leave. Just don't ever go live. If you never go live, you can just back out of your studio, and the event's waiting for you to go back next time, which we'll show you on the outside version looking in. So that's
have you ever
banner.
Yeah, have you ever found any connectivity issues? Like, is it ever had an issue where it didn't go live?
No, never. It's always like within 3 seconds, it's live.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a problem with Facebook, knock on wood. I mean, or Zoom for maybe like 2-3 months, but it just sounds like you never had a problem with this in any case.
I have not had a problem, and I not only do I do Mighty Blaze, but I do my weekly Melrose TV show with a bunch of people here, and I'm the producer. I host, I produce the show behind the scenes, do the links, do all that stuff, and I've been doing it since November in StreamYard, and so it's every Tuesday, and I've never had a problem with that show either. And that show airs on 3 channels as well. So it's.
How do I get rid of one of these? The banner.
You just so if you go to banners and then unclick it so it's hides. Now if you mouse over it again, you also see the delete and the edit pencil. So you can edit the thing, like change it from a banner to a ticker. Yeah.
Wait.
Just mouse over it.
Okay.
So first take it away from the video, from the screen. First remove it.
There we go. Oh, I see. Yeah, you got to take it away from the screen.
Now when you mouse over. Now you can delete it or you can edit it. So if you want to make it a banner to a ticker or whatever, then you can do that. Yeah.
Yep, I got it now.
That's all. Very straightforward. So the entire banners and brand and all this kind of stuff lives in the Mighty Blaze.
Tom, you're really cutting out there. Can you hear me?
So
okay?
if we have 10 events scheduled in the next week or 2 coming up. There we go.
Tom, I can't
hear you.
I can't really hear you. Shoot.
Can you hear me now? No?
Yep, now I can hear you, but you're sort of like pixelated, but try again.
Yeah. How weird is that? A weird Wi-Fi thing, maybe.
All right, I think I got you back now.
I'm on
Keep
Wi-Fi.
going.
It seems like it's connected.
Yeah, you're good now. Now you're totally back.
I feel like I'm back now?
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the question? I was going to tell you. So you'll see everybody's banners so if you come in and add a banner to say welcome to a Mighty Bro, Rachel, if she comes into her event coming up, she'll see the same banners. There's one list of banners for all the events that are scheduled because it's one account. It's a Mighty Blazes account. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm gonna have my own like studio within a Mighty Blaze.
No, you'll have your own event which is each week, each interview will be its own event. You'll
Got it.
create it to say, here's this week's interview. It's going to be called Thoughtful Bro with Tom Shampoo. And the next week you make a new one, Thoughtful Bro with John Smith. But so you'll create every week, you'll create an event like Zoom, like a Zoom meeting. But everybody who has an event that week will be able to see all the same comments. So it's not like you won't have your own private comments. It'll be one bucket of everybody's comments.
Yeah.
So in other words, if Rachel came into her Rachel Baking with Rachel this week, she would see these same comments because it's one account, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So, all right. So below brand is kind of fun too. Okay. So brand allows you to change all your stuff on the screen, right? So brand includes color. So if you click that red box, it can pick any color you want, and it changes the color of our graphics. Right? So you can change that, make it anything you want. So if you have a color you want to use for Thoughtful Bro, that's how you pick it, change it. The theme changes the look of it, as you can see. I happen to like minimal, actually, because it cuts the color away. And minimal feels like that. Minimal feels less obtrusive to me. But when you're changing our names, default, minimal, bubble, it also changes the comments, how they look as well, and the banners. So the other graphics get changed as well. So they'll be blue, and they'll also have the same shape. So if you pick minimal, for example, see how that changes? Now change it to minimal, you see how it looks. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I'm just doing it.
Yeah. So change it. I like that for our names, but now pick a comment and you'll see how it changes the comment. See how it's different?
Right.
Yeah.
I sort of like. I know it's a personal choice. I sort of like the default or the block one.
Yeah, block is what I think people are picking generally. Okay. That's fine. It's totally up to you. And then below that, you'll see. The logo. So that's where you take it away and add it to the corner of the screen. Just, click it again. If you click the logo again, then it'll just go away. And so we add our logo or subtract it, whatever we want. And that just always stays there. If it's in the way, then you can take it away if you want, maybe for like half the show, whatever. Just a thing. And then below that, you'll see the plus, the white plus sign there. That's how you add stuff, add your other graphics you want to add for logo. If you scroll down past logo, you'll see overlay. And this is where it gets fun. Overlay is images, graphics, JPEGs, photographs, whatever you want. Same thing. Click it in, click it out. You can show book covers. You can show whatever you want to show here. And you would come in, and you can still hear people. You would come in prior to the event and add the graphics ahead of time, so they're already here waiting for you. Right? So if you want to show a book cover, you come in here, add it on Monday. Tuesday, you come in, do your show, click it, show it, and then same thing, just delete it when you're done.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, again, same thing as I was saying before about the banners. Everybody who's adding graphics, you'll see them all, right? So if you add a graphic here, Rachel will see your graphics as well. So because it's one account, everyone's going to add graphics for their show. They're all going to live here. So not a big deal, but just add what you want to add when you're ready to add them. When you show them for your show, that's great. And then take them away when the show is over. And then it's like housekeeping. That's all that is. So like I just added this one before we started because I want to show you the ratio of the screen helps cover the whole screen. If you're showing graphics that are like that, you still see people. It's a little awkward. It's a little awkward. So we're trying to tell people to create graphics that are more horizontal in nature. Even like that, it's a little bit weird. So I think that ratio ends up being the best. Whatever.
Did you work out that thing with Double Zibby Owens?
Yeah, I talked to her. They're going to keep it. One of them is recorded. It's 15 minutes long. And one is happening with live. And I just decided, I had a long chat with Jenna today in the woods. We got back from like an hour and a half hike.
All right.
I'll tell you about that conversation after. But it's worth catching up. So anyway, so that's the brand. The brand is where we want to add overlays. And then the last piece is you can add videos, video clips. And that's also great if you want to like whatever you want to add for video, 10-second videos. If you click the video, it'll
because it
just
takes
pop
the
up.
comments from there, feeds them in here, so it's all in one place.
Okay, great. And I'm not logged in, so I will totally test that immediately. So I'm going to your.
Oh, Sarah Fu, haven't seen her in a while.
Fu, man, no kidding.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool to show the video. So we were thinking like David Duchovny plays music. If we wanted to show a 10-second clip of him playing with his son because they play together, we could just upload that video ahead of time, and then we're like, hey, Dan, you know, I understand that you play video. I mean, that you play guitar with your son. Click, okay, and then it's it. So again, like Rachel might want to have videos because of the baking aspect. You may not want to because you don't need it, right? The backgrounds. This is backgrounds. Again, each show can be different, can be its own, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
It's only up to us. And then you can also at the very bottom, you can display names. You can show them or not show our names on screen. Right? Yeah. So that's all. That's just our names being shown on screen.
How would I get like a background like behind me, like the way Jenna did in her elevators?
Put the background on and then change our view. See, now you can see it. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, but she was sort of like, you know, when Zoom does a background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do that here. I think that's Zoom where you put a background behind you.
Got it.
I don't know if we can do that here. I haven't seen that here.
This is interesting that like some of these show more of my background than others.
Yeah.
It's like a zoom in.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so that's everything over there, and then private chat. You can see that's just us, but again, it's for everybody. So there's, you know, we can't, as a function, we can't just chat privately. So we use our phones, and if we're gonna like text just Trisha, I would just text her about whatever.
Yeah.
We had some of that with David Duchovny. The other thing to keep in mind is back to banners or back to comments. Like we were like sometimes tripping over each other. So Jenna would say, for example, somebody posts a comment about the, you know, that Janie posted, and I would click it the same time Trisha would click it, which means it comes up and goes away. So we're like, you know, it's getting used to that kind of stuff. But I think once we're used to it, it does become much more productive and much easier to kind of create a better looking show, I think, or a better looking interview.
How much do we pay for this?
$240 a year. So
not bad.
Not terrible. And it gives you all these tools. The logo up in the corner, it gives you all the power to do your backgrounds and your images and your videos and uploads and all that kind of fun stuff. And the other thing is you're only allowed to have 10 people come into the studio at one time.
Okay.
So there's no like bombing the studio. Right? You can't bomb in because if you're a guest, you don't have the ability to bring yourself into the show. So that's why if you're the host, you're online early, 5 minutes before you go live. I mean, 5 minutes before the thing. If I'm a guest, I can't make myself added to the screen here. You have to add me in live. You follow me? So I'm stuck here and so they'll wait down there, and you'll look for them down there, but they'll wait down there as long as it takes. And they're like, hey, I'm here, you know? So if somebody somehow gets the link and they get into the studio behind the curtain, you still have the power to add and to remove them.
I get that. That's great. I mean, I guess Tom, like, one of my questions is that I find this, maybe it's just what I'm used to, but the Zoom interface when I'm broadcasting is like totally clean and not distracting at all because it's just me and the person. Yeah. But if this is what I'm going to be looking at while I'm doing an interview, it is a little distracting. You got comments, you know, the faces aren't taking up the whole screen. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I do.
If you click our video screen at the bottom corner of the video screen, that makes it full screen. That becomes so that now you would not see the comments or anything else, but if you have a fanner, they would be doing the comments. If you choose not to want to be inside the studio and engaging, then just tell your fanner, I'm not going to be looking at that stuff. So you're in charge of everything, and you can just do that. And if you're more comfortable, I would suggest that's the way you do it.
Perfect. And then what about, like, do you normally like tell the person who's being interviewed, like, hey, if you want to just look at me, just click on that thing.
Yep. Do anything that you feel is better for the show. You can go back and forth, you yourself, if you want to check in with what's happening. Again, if it's only you and another person, then yeah, maybe you're more comfortable having the two of you on screen full, and then somebody else just fans, and that's fine.
You know, Tom, I'll have to say this is like sort of apropos of our conversation yesterday. One downside of this is it says how many live viewers there are.
Yeah.
And that's not always a great number.
Yeah, I know.
But Zoom doesn't say that.
Zoom doesn't tell you that. It tells you on Facebook, but doesn't tell you on Zoom. Yeah.
But
Zoom
you
doesn't
don't
give
see it in real time, which I think is like, honestly, like everything here looks great, but I think that like that number can be demoralizing.
Right.
And I'm just afraid, like, unless I like know that I've got somebody who's going to be have a huge number of guests.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd want to like hide that, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm on this settings. Oh, there you go. So if you look at settings, if you open settings, which is going to be under private chat, now you'll see that there's some settings there. And I'm looking for the setting that says hide number of viewers or something. There's a general setting. There's a camera setting. There's audio. There's green screen. And then there's also guests, what the guests can see. Guests
yeah, I'm in there too.
Yeah. So just poke around. I'm looking for something that'll allow us to hide that. So the guests can't see it, but we could. I might, you know what? I might chat with StreamYard and ask that question.
Yeah.
Because that's a good question.
That might be, as great as everything is, to be candid, I mean, like that might be enough for me to not use it, because I don't want that to be a distraction, or I don't want it to be discouraging, because bro, like, you know, what happens is like Facebook counts up the total amount of people who have like passed through. So typically after any interview, I'm over 100. And sometimes I'm getting up like over 1,000 by the end. But in the moment, you might only have like 8 people in there, and it just looks better if you send them a thing afterwards, like, hey, 300 people watch, rather than them seeing 8.
And seeing an 8 number, yeah.
Because the other thing about the 8 is it doesn't account for unique visitors, right? I mean, it's like, you know, you can have a steady 8 the whole time, but maybe 50 people came through, you know?
Yeah.
So I
will chat, do like one of those live chat Q&As, customer service with StreamYard to see if that's something that we can control. I think you're right.
Yeah.
From the guest standpoint, if we could hide that number, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's that. So that's everything. That's everything inside the studio here for tools. The last piece, which again was the same thing as live broadcast, go live, is now it's red, and you end the broadcast the same way. What I'll do is I will share my screen now with you, and I will walk through creating an event, so that this is how you would create a map and then get yourself ready to do it each week for your event. So if you hang on one second, I'll share my screen. Entire screen, and that's with you now. Now I'm allowing it. Now you'll get the screen sharing where you can see my screen of us having a meeting. So it's like a mirror with a mirror.
Yeah.
So here's where, because I gave you that code, when you go to StreamYard.com and log in, you should see the same window that I do, because you're now logged in as a host. You should always see this unless you log out. So you should always land on this screen here, which is sort of the starting point for creating events, right? So you can see our event, Tom and Mark Practice, is live right now. And it's also, it shows you where it's live. It's live on Tomcats, is my channel, Tomcats YouTube channel. You can see below that conversation is going to 2 channels. It's going to be Facebook and YouTube, right? So every event tells you where it's going to go, and you can see it's already mapped.
Just sorry to interrupt. How many different places can it go to? Can you go to Instagram and stuff too?
Yeah. I think it can go to 2 Facebook channels and like up to 3 other channels. It's 5 maybe is total, but I think something like that. So it's a decent amount of channels. So it's not something to hold us back.
And can you schedule 2 events for the same time?
I don't know. If it's going to be shown at the same place, I don't think so.
Right. But I mean, like, so part of where that question is going is like, so Jenna is doing on Tuesday, Zibby Owens
Yeah.
at 1 o'clock. I go on at 2 o'clock. What if her thing goes over? What's going to happen?
We won't go over. We'll have to stop.
No. But you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think that's not a function of StreamYard. It's a function of Zoom. It's the same thing. If we were going to do the same thing in Zoom, how would Zoom map to Facebook, to Mighty Blaze's Facebook page at the same time? I'm not sure it can, but I don't know. I think it can,
Right.
but maybe, yeah.
Crossing the streams.
Yeah, right. Crossing the streams, man. So this is going to be your landing page from now on when you log into Zoom. This should be your landing page. I'll start here. These are the broadcasts that we have upcoming, but this is destinations. So destinations is how you'd map to a new place. So if you want to add Mark Cecil's own Facebook page, you click here. And now these are all the places that we're currently mapped. We may not show there, but these are the options that we could show, right? So you can see Rachel has her own page, Mighty Blaze. Sanibel Island is no longer mapped. They do, for these external pages that are not yours, they're other people's, they give you a window of like 3 months. And then they say, you have to remap or else we're going to turn off that mapping, which is kind of nice, actually. It's good. So you can see up here, that pink note, StreamYard has lost access to your Facebook account with Sanibel Island. Well, that's because it was October. And we haven't done anything with them since. And so we can no longer, we have to remap, reconnect. So again, destinations allows you to map through any channel that you want to map to. And here's me, TopCat 1019, and so that's why. So that's just destinations. And you can add a destination here if you wanted to. Back to broadcasts. Here are the broadcasts that are currently upcoming. Here's the one for Tuesday. And again, I created it on February 10th, but it's scheduled for 1 o'clock on February 16th. Here's how you enter the studio. It's the same thing that you did now as a host, but here's these 3 dots. Here's how you could change and edit the event, change the time, change the name, remap it to a different place, and also cut and paste the link. So when I sent you a link, this is how I get to it. I click these 3 dots and you get a window, invite a guest. I can invite a guest, and now there's my link for this event. Cut and paste it, or you can email the person directly. But that's how you would invite the speakers, the host, or the guests rather, to be on the show. That's over here on these 3 dots. And again, I can also edit that event. I can delete it, whatever, you can do that kind of stuff. So that's where those live. And again, enter the broadcast as the host through here. And that kind of opens up everything for them to enter and become a part of that broadcast. So that's where things live. We'll create a new one here. We're going to create the broadcast. Where do you want this to go? These are all the places that we can map it. And I'm not going to create a broadcast that maps to a Mighty Blaze, because once we hit create the event, it'll tell everybody like me, it'll show up here. It'll say, a Mighty Blaze just created an event. And if the event is called Tom and Mark Practice, it's going to say, Mighty Blaze just created an event called Tom and Mark Practice. So I'm going to map it to my place again, just so you can see the process. So the title will be Tom and Mark Practice 2. Oops, I've got my little T here. Practice 2. I can describe it if I want, although that's not visible anywhere. I can make it a public or a private event. I'll make it private this time. And now I'm going to schedule for later. And this is where I can upload a thumbnail. So if you have a graphic, you can create the graphic and upload it right now. So when it says a Mighty Blaze has created an event on Tuesday at 1 o'clock for a Thoughtful Bro, the graphic will show up with it. And the event is going to be, now it's going to be next Tuesday at 2, I'll make it 4 o'clock since nothing's happening, 4 p.m. And then you create the broadcast. Before I get to that point, if I wanted to do this, let's say I wanted to do this next Saturday, this is today. Next Saturday, it's got to tell you at 4 p.m. There should be a note. Oh, where'd it go? Which today? Today's the 11th, right?
Yeah.
No, let's try the 23rd. Well, that's weird. It normally tells you, oh, maybe because it's private. It normally tells you you can only create within a 7-day window. So that means you can't do like 2 weeks ahead. But right now it's saying I can. So maybe I can create. Oh, that's weird. All right, anyway, So let's make it 4 o'clock next Tuesday. I create the video, or I create the event rather. And now there it is. Now it's scheduled and I have the event, and now I can enter the studio. And so this would be now like weird because I'm already in a studio with you, but I'm going to enter another studio. And now I can add my banners. I can add an image if I wanted to add stuff. I can kind of work the behind the scenes things whenever I want. There's me. I'm going to enter my broadcast studio. And then you see me inside the studio here. Now, again, I can add things here. I'm now inside my own thing. And again, you see how this is go live here?
Yeah.
If I don't touch go live, I'm just going to back out right here. I just back out of the studio. It's still going to live there as a scheduled event right there. So you can go in and out of the studio as many times as you want. You just don't have to worry about anything happening until you go live. That's when it changes everything. So that's how you create an event. It's pretty straightforward once you're on this page. And I don't know that I missed anything. I think that covers everything. Again, if you want to go in, I can go in here. I can edit this event and change where it's mapping and everything else. I can change this.
So I could also choose to live broadcast to my own Facebook page as well as a Mighty Blaze.
Yeah, you sure could. That's what Rachel does. That's why her page is up there.
And then
or Jenna's page or
on
whatever.
The view count for Facebook. Do you let's say 100 people watch it on YouTube, 100 people look at it on my Facebook page, 100 people look at it on the Blaze. What number will show up in each of the places? Do you have any idea?
I'll say that again. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. Imagine I'm broadcasting in 3 places. My Facebook page, Mighty Blaze Facebook, Mighty Blaze YouTube.
Yeah.
There's 100 viewers on each.
Yeah.
Later, I go to Facebook for Mighty Blaze. How many viewers will it show watched it?
However many were on that one single feed. Each of the feeds will track its own numbers, but this feed here will have a total. So here above on this video screen that we're looking at now, it'll say 300. It doesn't say where. It'll just say 300.
Oh, well, so that's interesting because so then what you would have is you'd have the Blaze, if you're on the Blaze Facebook page, it might say that 300 people viewed it, but you might see a number larger than that in the video recording itself. If there were 1,000 people on YouTube, it might say 300 viewers on Facebook, but it might say 1,300 up in the upper left corner.
It'll say the number here in StreamYard that you're looking at above your head, which is 0 right now. That will total everybody's viewership live. It'll change as you watch. If you're saying after the fact, each platform is only going to report on its own platform. It's not going to report on anything else. It doesn't know how many viewers watched via YouTube or anything else. So it'll just say, here's your viewership for this one platform because it's managed by different people. So I couldn't log in to get your stats on your page because I don't have access. So that's 3 discrete destinations. StreamYard allows you to do that, but each one doesn't know the other one's available or what it's doing, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So thinking about this, I got this Navy SEAL guy coming up on Tuesday. I'm not going to try this for him, but the next 2 weeks I got Julie Carrick Dalton, who's somebody I know, and then Nancy Johnson the week after that.
Yeah.
And so those are Nancy Johnson especially is sort of an internal person. Yeah. So I might just I might feel more comfortable just experimenting with her,
Yeah. I think we should plan that I can help be here, or Margaret or Trish or someone who knows, or Jenna. I think the first couple of times that you want to use it, we should plan to have somebody behind here working with you so that you don't have to sweat through, am I doing all the right bells and whistles at the right time? Right. And maybe as distracting as it might be to see all this dashboard stuff while you're live, it might be good to see it just so you can watch the process. And I do feel like that's how you learn. I learned a shitload, one session into Sanibel Island, right? So Margaret knew this. I had never heard of StreamYard. And Margaret said, let's use StreamYard for Sanibel a week before Sanibel. I was like, no, are you crazy? I was so
I remember. I'm
like, why would we do that and give ourselves a headache? So Margaret's like, no, it's pretty cool. We did 2 practice sessions like this. We live streamed to Mighty Blaze. We called it a book talk or whatever. And I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. And then we did 2 of those, and like, all right, so it's kind of cool. And I saw how to do banners and comments. And then literally the first live session in Sanibel, as we launched, I'm like, oh, this is kind of great. Like, I love it now. And then like 1 hour in, I'm like, I get it. I see how it works. I'm getting the feel for it. And Margaret and I were both in there. I can see her on screen. We can see each other. And we're texting each other. And then we're like, okay, this makes total sense. It's kind of cool.
You know what I should do, Tom? I should be in the background as a producer for somebody else's StreamYard thing. You know,
maybe for Zibby Owens next week.
Sure, because Zibby's really nice and everything, and I'll just pop in and I'll just sit here on the bottom of the screen and do nothing.
Yeah,
I'll just watch what's happening. You know,
perfect. Yeah, you can see how things go and all that.
Oh wait, no, I can't do that because that's like Zibby's thing is like immediately before my thing. Well, there must be other stuff we have on the docket.
Let me just check real quick because I just was on that page, right? Special conversation with Zibby is next Tuesday. Authors in Conversation is on StreamYard, scheduled for 4 p.m. Is that today? Must be today. So Jane's doing it today at 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I might just ping her and just be like, hey, can I just sit in the background? Yeah,
and then Baking with Rach is on February 27th. So it's weird. I got a note that said you can only do 7 days ahead, but Rachel's is scheduled for the 27th of February, and it's here. So I think it's okay to do a few weeks of events. Okay. But yeah, so if you want to check in with Jane and just pop in there and just tell her that I'll just watch from behind.
Yeah, well, who's producing for her?
I don't know. Okay. Trisha or Margaret? I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. I'll check it out.
Not me.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Is this so we did it?
I think we did everything here, and I think we're good. I was going to just do a run through with you quickly with Jenna because we talked in the woods today for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You have time for that?
The last thing before we move on, because I do want to hear about that. Before we move on, definitely, well, obviously, before I actually did this with an external party, I would want to see like the kind of email that you send. And maybe I've already been CC'd on those, but just sort of like, here's the link to StreamYard. Here's just whatever your logistical instructions are. I would want to see a version of that. Yeah,
I'll give it to you. The one I did with David Duchovny, I think was good because he was the first StreamYard guest that we invited that I did. And so I had this, my typical thing that I send, which I include you on. Here's how the interview works. I added a bullet that said, we're using a new platform called StreamYard. It's like Zoom, but is more broadcast friendly. It allows more tools. And so I'll send you that whole thing and then you'll have all that.
Wait, but I thought we've been like doing this a bunch since October. Have we not?
I haven't done StreamYard for an interview other than the events, like the conferences and the book fest we have, but not interviews.
Oh, so like Kimberly and Jane's using it.
Yeah, I don't know if today's her first or second, but she's just now beginning to use it.
I see. You trained her as well.
I've done trainings for Rachel and Jane and Kim, Joe, and Amanda, I think, or somebody else. I've done 5 or 6 now with you. Is like my 6th.
I have to say, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with this software. It's
kind of fun. It's fun to use. Once you're using it, it does feel much more like a production that feels higher end.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. All right. Yeah. So what happened with Jenna?
So why don't you end the broadcast just so you can go through the whole process? Just hit end. You'll hit end again, and we're done. But we can stay and chat still.